Hello and welcome. In this video, we will give you an overview of the event reservation and the banquet event order functionality in LS Activity. This will include the booking process and how to use templates for quotations, the pre-sales process, how you can link a standard Business Central opportunity to the reservation, and use the Business Central CRM from there on. We'll cover the BEO issuing and change management, and how you assign tasks and responsibilities to employees and contacts using the responsibilities settings. Review the deposit management options and then finalizing using invoice or point of sale. I'll start with just creating a reservation, a new one. I'll select the event, reservation types, and I'll call it a big meeting. There we have it, and it's going to be for the period of 24th, 10 o'clock in the morning, and the same 24th. So we enter 23 or 11 p.m. and click OK. After I created this basic information here, I can use the template functionality to copy more details of preset information that I can assign to this reservation. This is going to make it easier to enter the details. Now, if I go to Manage, here, Copy Form, I confirm I'm copying details into this reservation, and I've created the reservation type here called Template. That's just basically normal reservations where I've set all the details, and I want to use these settings to be copied into this new reservation. I'm going to hit OK. I get a list of all the reservations that belong to this template reservation type, and there I've created here, for example, something to represent mid-sized reservations. And if I hit OK, it will copy all the details from that reservation, and it will recalculate the pricing and so forth. In this case, I've set up reservation comments for the arrangement, color themes, and various information I need for this event. I can have tasks prepared. I can even have activities. In this case, there is room rental and 3-course dinner and any other additional tasks linked to this event. So I'm going to continue entering the information. I know that the company I'm working for is the outdoor company we have here, the outdoor company. Location is correct, and then I'm going to add a main internal contact. That's the contact person I'm going to be contacting for this reservation. So then I'm going to say that the total number of persons is 20. If I want to start using the pre-sales process, Business Central has a standard CRM module, and then the CRM module uses something called opportunities to track all your opportunities and process the sales cycles. I also need to add a salesperson. Let's see. Yeah. And now I can actually create an opportunity. I just click on the button here, and it will use all of my details to create a new opportunity. From this point on, I can just use the standard CRM functionality to keep track of the sales cycles and the communication regarding this event. I'm not going to go into further details about the CRM part, but that would just be the standard Business Central functionality from there. We've also added features from the CRM module, for example, create interact, make phone calls, and emails, which are basically the same features you would have on the opportunity card. Then we need to enter the details of the reservation, and I'm going to select the time. It's going to be 10 o'clock. And I want to enter the room rental, 4 hours, and we're going to have the dinner at 6 p.m. and it's going to be 20 persons. And I'm going to set the number of persons to 20 here as well. So as you can see, the 3-course dinner has been populated with the quantities. We have the room rental prepared, but we haven't specified the actual room. I can look up the room. I can also look up the availability for this particular room, or I could view the matrix. The matrix shows the availability of my event rooms in a matrix, if that should be needed. In this case, I just know that I have this room available, so I'm just going to select event room 1 for this event. And we can see it is available for this particular date and time. I would also want to add more details. This is going to be the main meeting. This is going to be assigned to the agenda, and this is going to be the dinner party. So this information in comments here will be put into the BEO as further information. At this point, I just want to issue a quote to the client, and I can do that using the standard invoicing feature. I click on quote, create a quote, yes, and we got the outdoor company, and we got our quote for the dinner and the room rental and so forth. So this is all pretty clear. In this example, I just want to confirm and we will make the reservation. Now we can start to review how the BEO would be shown. We can go into view. We have issued our first version of the BEO. And if you go to BEO view, we would then see the layout of the BEO. We have our comments up here on top from the reservation part. If you want to, you can set this up at the top or at the end of the BEO. We have then the agenda, the main meeting and dinner party, the location, the AV settings, the room rental charges, the AV charges, in this case the food and beverage charges. Basically the event categories as we set them up in the system. We will also see from here the contacts or the responsible person for each part. This is Linda Fritz, who is the internal contact for the room rental, and Benjamin Ford for the food and beverage. These names come from the responsibilities settings. And the responsibility settings were copied according to the event category settings. Here we have assigned which person, in this case internal employees, is responsible for each part of the event. And then the system would keep track of any changes to the event. For example, if you change the event, Linda would need to be notified. This would define that Linda will receive all notifications or event-related issues. This is all fine. But now I want to make some changes. The customers want to make some changes. So I will change the status, in this case to draft again. Status, change status, draft. I could have a specific status setup that would allow me to edit this reservation without putting it into draft, but I'll just make it simple. I use the draft status. I could edit any information from here, and you can change the date. For example, I want to change the quantity here. They have less people for dinner. They have only 16 people that are coming for dinner. 16. Let's change. That was change, and we can reconfirm. Reconfirm. Yes. And now we can see that the BO version has been updated to version 2. If you now take a look at the BO versions, so we issued the first version, which had 17 new entries and a total amount of 2,800. But here we see that we made 3 modifications. We can drill down to these notifications and see, yes, 3 lines were affected by our modifications. And since these are food and beverage, the food and beverage person would need to be notified if we had set it up. Let's look at the deposit schedule. Deposit schedule. Here we can define or use deposit policies to automatically populate the setup here and issue the deposit schedule. Let's say we might have rules that you have to deposit for 50% of the event 10 days up front. And then you might have to finalize it before the event starts. You could have that deposit policy prepared and assigned to this reservation, then this would be populated automatically. I could also manually set the deposit required, and then that will be kept track of, or that this deposit is outstanding, or I could issue a deposit invoice from here. But in this case, I'm just going to create an invoice from here. If I go to invoicing, invoice, do you want to create an invoice? Yes. And now we could just finalize this as a standard Business Central invoice. You could also do this finalization through the point of sale, but I'm just going to post this invoice, and now it will be just a part of standard Business Central accounting, and we'll go through the customer count of this particular customer. So there's no balance. We've issued the invoice, and now it is part of the business processes of the company to handle the invoicing of the reservation. So this was an overview of the preparation process of an event order and how you can use the CRM and how you can use the standard Business Central to finalize the event. Thank you.